I almost feel like we are recessing back into 2021 because at this point, that man they say is president is just not good for our mental health at this point. Not just the physical, but the mental. On the third day of my 49th year, I awake to this man having gone into Venezuela, a South American country, kidnap the wife and president, and then say, we're going to occupy this country and run it until we can transition it over. You done kidnapped the president and the wife. Yes, I live in Vegas. Yes, it is chilly out here. My bonus mom thought that Vegas stayed warm all year round. No, it does not. Okay. It's not that cold. It's actually in the 60s, but it feels like it's in the 50s. So, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I woke up yesterday. I said, here you go again. Just out here running amok, as my drill sergeants would say, just out here flapping in the wind, doing his own thing with no mandate from Congress. But I almost feel like they done wrote him a class pass, especially, what's his name? Who's the Speaker of the House? Lil Mike Johnson, the preacher of the House, the closet dweller. Anyway, he he really is trying to fight for his life to stay in office, to avoid living out the remains of his life, whatever may be left of it. I thought it would end by the end of last year. I really did. Because the man is in such poor health. And it's not that I'm wishing anyone dead. Please don't ever think that. But I mean, he got congestive heart failure. You know, he been poopy doing on himself for a long time. Because they said even during the days of Apprentice, when he actually came across as likable and tolerable, he was pooping himself. And so anyway, I'm just like, at what point is the UN gonna step in or somebody? Because he's a war criminal at this point. You just can't up and decide one day, you know what? I want the oil, I want the diamonds, I want the aluminum minerals and all this, because I mean, Venezuela is rich with a lot of natural resources. Not to mention, he claims that ISIS was occupying, what is it, Nigeria. I was like, baby, you don't want to fuck with the Nigerians. Now, he had already gone over there once to bomb something. Apparently, he did it at Christmas. I didn't even know that. And my ex, who I'm still good friends with, he moved back to Nigeria when all this stuff, he moved back to Nigeria when all this stuff was going on, right? But I'm like, damn, what was the, I mean, you're not even safe in your home country because who's gonna fuck with Nigeria? Everyone knows that Nigeria fought against colonialism and occupation and freed themselves just like the Haitians. Uh-oh, Coach Ava trying to get me to start running. So I don't, at this point, you know, everybody's talking shit, you know, of course. And just, it's like that's all they do is talk and talk and talk. And I'm like, do you think that's like a placeholder to defer the fact that you couldn't do anything? Do something. The Republicans in Congress already act like outlaws. Democrats need to get like outlaws at this point. I told somebody, I said, honestly, it feels like the Constitution, any treaty that we executed, no longer exists. And that's just fact. But allegedly, I saw that April Ryan, a former White House correspondent, because you know he didn't kick her off the list, was saying that the Democrats are holding a caucus an emergency caucus with Representative Hakeem Jeffries. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know what they gonna do because I'm like, unless y'all get gangster with it, ain't much gonna happen or come of this. Okay? So anyway, I hope that everyone is prayed up and can shelter in place at some point because I have a feeling this fool really is trying to poke the bear and really is trying to get us to, all right, thank you, really is trying to get us locked into a long-term war. And my prediction with all of it is the fact that I think what's going to end up happening once he gets done with Venezuela, he going to hand it over to Putin. After they finish stripping it of everything, it's going to go to Putin. Plus, that'll give them a foothold in a country to hide out in, or even maybe he's doing it for himself to be able to run to. But the fact that you plotted and planned to wake up on the third day of my 49th year, the third day of 2026, and get up and go kidnap a president and his wife to prosecute them, what the fuck? But he is bound and determined to stay in office just to avoid jail. He can't get out of it because that was a state case. I said, I've lived through multiple presidents. When I was born, Jimmy Carter was the president. President Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, angry wig as I call him, Biden. Now back to angry wig. I don't understand how they even let him assume office when he stole it. And no one really talks about it. Well, actually, they have started talking about it. And I'm just like, when the numbers came in, how is it that governors and other people that were working to get elected won their ballot, but the Vice President of the United States, her and Tim Walz, who were running for president and VP, didn't get elected or didn't carry that state? It never made any sense. It never added up, but no one did anything. They just stayed silent. And then I saw some guy give a theory about the fact that at this point it's starting to look like the powers that be that run this world in their very dark hearts want a complete economic collapse. I don't know if that's true, but that's what it's starting to look like. Because I'm like, you cannot continue to allow this man to just run amok. He's going to end up starting World War III if we're not careful. And I'm like, could you imagine somebody busting up into the White House or Mar-a-Lago or wherever the hell he be and kidnap him and Melania? Although at this point, that probably wouldn't be such a bad thing. But I really want to hop on here and see what everyone was thinking and how everyone was feeling since I was out on my walk. And, you know, just talk it out. Anyway, what else is going on? Oh, so Netflix recommendation. If you all have not watched it, Crazy Times, I'm going to just go read some books. Baby, it better get all the rare books because they are rare now because they don't want us to read them. The ones that's going to actually help us be good citizens and be educated on these crazy times. Because I feel like we living in 1984 for real. Who is that by? Oh, the same dude that wrote Animal Farm. I can never remember his name, but I know the book. So anyway, that's where we at. But my Netflix recommendation for you guys is this. Come on. is this documentary, George Orwell, that's the name, 1984, thank you. So, anyway, what else was I going to say? Yeah, so what is it called? The Carmen's Family Deaths. That's what it's called. It's on Netflix. It's a documentary. And y'all, I was really irritated with the police during the investigation of this young man who is autistic. What is this about? What is what about? KJ Sonner. Okay, well, we'll just call you KJ. Y'all, some of these handles y'all have, I'd be like, huh? But I can tell we got those old school handles. I need to see if I can separate mine without losing the channel. Anyway, so we just wrapped up KJ talking about what happened on yesterday. And it's not about crimes. I said, it says the criminal, the convicted felon going out here wrangling international criminals for his own ill-gotten gain. But on a positive note, well, it's not positive because the story is really sad. So yesterday, while I was once again engaged in what we call bed rotting, which is relaxing, and Netflix and chill by myself with my dog, which, by the way, I gave her a bath. Here, let me show y'all Ava. She out here just walking along. We on our little walk. This is Coach Ava when I'm working out. But we were watching the Carmen family deaths. Y'all. So this young man was accused of murdering his grandfather and his mother. And then he faced prosecution for allegedly unaliving his mother, right? But when he got rescued, it was in the water. Him and his mother went out on his boat. She came from a very wealthy Greek family. Her father built his wealth by investing in real estate, developing real estate, that type of thing. And so what ended up happening is that I forgot what the mom's name was, but her and her father had a very, they were always at odds. And so, she ended up, joining the Air Force and doing her own thing for a while. Then she got married. Then her daddy told me, I'm going to open up y'all a Dunkin' Donuts if y'all move back to New England, because she was living in California then. So, and y'all can watch for yourself. I hope I'm not ruining it for you, because I would still watch it if it was me. But what ended up happening, hold on, y'all. Gotta jog across the street. So what ended up happening is they came back. He reneged on the Dunkin' Donuts still. But still she made it. She had a son, and he was the first grandson, I think the first grandchild. However, he was born autistic. And, but he was a high functioning neurodivergent. But he always had that tone that they have, that flat, very, they show no affects at all. And so when he got picked up for allegedly unaliving his mother, the cops were like, yeah, we just told him his mom had died, we couldn't find her, and he showed no emotion. Y'all do know he autistic, right? Okay, do you know how autistic people talk sometimes and how they don't show any emotion? Like, even though they look normal. I got Jack crossing the street. And so the whole investigation pissed me off, because I was just like, It's the 21st century. Not to mention, I think this happened back in the 2010s. And you know, departments should have been better trained, especially in New England. And this was Connecticut, I think, the state of Connecticut, that people who have special needs, as you would refer to them often, you know, will not show emotion like you think they're, like they won't react like someone you would consider normal. The whole investigation was just horrible. Then he filed a claim to recover funds for his boat sinking during this unfortunate time. And the insurance company basically accused him of jacking up his boat. Then some of the people that rescued him kept saying, well, he wasn't exhausted enough. He'd been out there for 7 days. And somebody was like, of course he's going to swim. Rescue is finally there. That adrenaline rush kicks in. And then they were like, and how did he know to have all of this on a boat? And so his attorney was like, do y'all not get the fact that people like him who are neurodivergent and high functioning will always prepare for things? Like they will go research it and find out what they're supposed to have, and they'll have it. Because like they were upset that he had like the MREs, the proper rescue gear, all of that. I was like, what kind of investigation is this? It was just horrible. And then the aunt was, his mom's sister was like, I know he killed her. He killed my father. And when the mom was declared dead, I think, or, you know, they had a service for her, none of them showed up. Talking about, we know he killed our father and he killed our sister. But then the nephew of the grandfather was like, he believes that in some respects, I don't think he really came out and said it, but I think he thinks that the mother actually either killed their daddy because they didn't get along, or she knew that the son may have actually killed him. And he warned her that if she went on a boat with him, she might not come back. And she didn't come back. But then his other theory was, hell, maybe he dropped her off somewhere because she didn't want to face living the life of being accused of withholding their father's, you know, murderer. And the thing about it is that they said he was doing it for financial gain. And I mean, y'all, so, I'm sorry, Ava. So I got to get off this, but y'all check it out and pray our strength. Anybody who's, you know, not living in these perilous times we currently living in, you know, pray our strength because it's crazy out here. Have a good day. I've been Miss Sophia the Diva. Bye.